Can we stop having 20 something year old men or boys or men specializing and niching in on coaching women in their 40s? So, firstly, my name is Ritu, and I specialize in helping women approaching 40 or already in their 40s get in their best shape, increase their confidence, increase their energy levels, and just own the fuck out of this decade. And the reason why I do that is firstly, I'm 41 and I'm going to be 42 in about 6 or 7 weeks. So it's very much real. The 40s are here for me. And I can happily say that I'm owning them. So firstly, let's kind of rewind back a little bit. Um, I for some of you that might have just stumbled across my YouTube page, or maybe you've come via Instagram, maybe you don't know much about me, but I've been working in health, sport, fitness within this realm for the last 20 plus years. And I've always had my own fitness goals within this. And I've kind of got fit, or I've been fit, or I've been lean, and then I've got out of shape. And now I did that in my late 20s. I had a period where I kind of lost it a little bit, and then I kind of reeled things back in, got into much better shape within my 30s. I ended up competing and really enjoying that process as well. But after a couple of shows, I just wanted to kind of focus on different areas, for example, like my career. And then I'd probably say around my late 30s, I want to say possibly around sort of 30, maybe 36, 37. I found myself getting just sort of losing my passion for training, and also losing my goal, my intentions, being very comfortable where I was. I was training, and at the time I was working in a studio where I wasn't very happy. I wasn't very happy at this time of my life, I would say. We had the big C going on, lockdowns were occurring, etc. And I found myself in this awful cycle of having just over consuming on like food in general. And I wasn't paying any attention to my nutrition at that point. And now, as a vegan, you do have to consider your protein intake. And I think, to be fair, even beyond being a vegan, if you're a vegetarian or if you eat everything, I think a lot of people that aren't really thinking about their nutrition and being healthful in any ways, and they're just kind of eating whatever, tend to kind of neglect the protein thing. Or even when they are trying to eat healthy, maybe they're just kind of picking and snacking, and maybe they're just trying to eat healthy micronutrients. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep this short, sweet, and interesting for you as well. And let's take it back to the topic and the reason why I'm here today. I did a post on social media today because I had this chat with a mentor yesterday, and he actually asked me, why do you help women approaching 40? And I said, well, actually, the reason why I focus on that era is because I remember what it was like being in that era, having lost my way, and thinking that that was it, and almost accepting using age as an excuse, using the fact that I didn't really have a goal or direction. Like, what do I want to do? Do I really, I kind of accepted, well, I look okay for my age, and I look healthy, or I look okay and I can get on and I can do things. But really, I wasn't thriving and I wasn't at my peak or my best. And I knew that there was something else out there for me. So, my mentor at the time challenged me and said, well, hey, why don't you defy the status quo and just go ahead and get in the best shape that you possibly can? And I rose to the challenge. I thought, okay, yeah, let's do this. And admittedly, I did this on my own. So I had obviously the idea from my mentor, and the sort of accountability, if you like. And I went ahead and set out my own programming, set my own macros, etc. My mentor had actually booked a photo shoot for a group of us. So that in itself was, a challenge to go, and that was a target to go, right, I need to do this. And it just so happened that I turned 40 in the March, and this was 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago. I turned 40 in the March and the photo shoot was in April. So I really wanted to kind of mark that era and that decade. So I pushed through it and yeah, I looked amazing and I surprised myself. I couldn't believe that I looked okay, I looked all right. And then I actually decided to challenge myself again towards the end of last year. I did another photo shoot and I actually did it with the same photographer, and he said that I looked better this time around. So actually at 41 and a half, I looked even better than I did at 40. So yeah, that's kind of how that worked out for me. And yeah, the motivation for me was, again, I didn't want my age to, and I never want my age to be the reason where not only do I stop helping myself, but I stop helping other people and I stop challenging other women, rather than, I know that it's important to be kind to ourselves and to approach goals with, a sustainable and reasonable approach and, a good mindset around it as well. We really have to be in the mindset to really kind of put ourselves through a challenge like that as well. But yeah, this was my motivation. And so it was my motivation was to be the poster girl for my business and to help women in this era. And yeah, before 40, um, although I kind of say lightly with a pinch of salt that I felt healthy, I felt sluggish. I will admit that. I mean, when I say I was unhappy in this job, I remember that there was like a co-op next door, and I would be smashing bags of family-sized bags of crisps with big tubs of hummus, and admittedly, I thought that was fine at the time, and I just kind of ran with it. And I was stress eating. It was not good for me. So it took some work to get out of that. And I'd say that again, it was a couple of years until I decided actually I wanted to go for this like fit before 40 thing. So like I say, that was sort of around 36, 37. Um, yeah. And I have documented a couple of those pictures as well of what I look like. And I wasn't a big person. I was actually still pretty petite, but my skin didn't look as good. And I remember I was experiencing like breakouts and spots at the time, and my skin on my body itself was definitely looking a little bit more like inflamed or like dry, if you like. It just didn't look I mean, I looked okay, but yeah, I knew that I wasn't in the right frame of, yeah, I just wasn't in my best. I knew that there was something better for me. So yeah, that's the thing, right? And as I kind of start and open this call here, if you like, or this video, social media has been amazing with for connecting with people and obviously helping me reach more women as well. But at the same time, I get hit with ads by 20 something year old men, and whether they're niching in on women with PCOS or menopause, strangely, or women in their 40s. I've seen that as well. I find it slightly strange, but I get that some people have their motivation. Maybe they have a woman in their life that they've helped, and they want to be able to help other women with that as well. And respectfully, I appreciate that. But I think nothing speaks more to helping a group of people than having gone through it yourself. So again, I'm not perfect, lifelong in health, fitness, and sport, as I've said. Again, I've talked a little bit more about my journey in some of my other videos, but I've come from being a gymnastics coach. I've helped many elite athletes as well within that, and teaching Pilates. I trained as a sports therapist, so I worked alongside physios doing like the rehab stuff. And also very early in my career, I was also working in gyms. I started off as gym instructor at the age of 20. So I've never left this world or this area. And I've only sort of come online or started coaching online over the last few years. And it's been incredible. I still connect with people in person, but It's my absolute passion being able to help people or women far and wide as well. And yeah, I'm loving the 40s. So like come and join me in making this the best decade yet. Because the thing is, right, when we think about taking it back and we go, our 20s, we were kind of finding ourselves, our 30s, we were coming into ourselves and learning more about ourselves and understanding when to say yes and no. And by the time you get to 40, you just don't give a fuck anymore. You just kind of go, well, this is me. You can love it or leave it. And I feel like we just already we own so much of our personalities, and I think it's important for us to kind of own that same confidence as well in ourselves when it comes to our health and fitness. So yeah, hopefully this has given you a little bit more insight into my why. Again, having gone through it myself, and now obviously helping countless women do exactly the same, being their best selves, showing up for themselves, knowing that it's not too late, knowing that again, you can thrive right now and you don't have to go for extremes either. You don't have to go crazy and do like hit every day and cardio all the time. And it's not, about just reducing your calorie intake. Like there's so many different ways that we can kind of and approaches that we can take in terms of helping you as an individual woman as well. Like we have to really consider you as a person, your lifestyle, your career, your family life, your previous history with diet culture, your previous history in training as well and exercise. For some of the women that I work with, they've been long life exercisers. Some are very new to this. So it's almost again like starting as a beginner. But the idea is that we take a very individual, or I take a very individual approach to each and every woman that I work with. And yeah, the women that I work with we are smashing it. How else can I say that? So yeah, I hope that again for 2026, we get some more of the ladies on the calls so that we can do some like interviews as well, and they can tell you a little bit more about their experience. But yeah, anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Coach Richu is exactly the same handle as I've got here on YouTube. And yeah, we will see you next time. Thanks.